What's going on, people? It's Timmy Joe, and it's been a long time since I've done something like this. But I'm gonna overclock the snot out of the new Ryzen 5800X today. Woo! We got one! Woo! This is it right here. I'll be careful not to drop it. Happy times. I got this from Silver Knight PCs. And I gotta thank them very much. They reached out when I was looking for a 10900K. They're a small computer shop in Wisconsin. No, I don't want to say the wrong thing here. Silver Knights is a small, veteran-owned and operated business. They specialize in custom, high to low-end gaming PCs. There's also a buy, sell, trade shop for various parts from all generations. If you're looking for a one-stop shop for all your PC needs, look no further than Silver Knights PCs, located in Fayetteville, North Carolina. There we go. So thanks, guys, for sending this out. I paid for it. I paid too much money for it. I paid about retail-ish, but then I had to pay like way too much duties and like $50 or $60 for shipping or something stupid. It ended up being like $800 Canadian by the time I got this 8-core processor. So damn. Anyway, so thanks to Silver Knight. So what are we doing today? I don't want to. Anyways, we're gonna put the Arctic, this guy here, Liquid Freezer 2, on that puppy. It's known to be a very good cooler for the Ryzen chiplet system. And I'm gonna, I got a push-pull on this thing. I'm gonna stick it out the window, old school styles, because although it's not like -20 outside, you can see this morning it was -12 when I looked at it at my house, so it's probably warmed up a little bit, but it's gonna be in the negatives, and it will help us achieve the highest overclock possible on this to just to mess around, because that's what I used to do. I used to just put radiators out the window or computers outside in the wintertime and try and get the highest Cinebench score, and everyone loved it, and I used to love it, and I haven't done it in a long time. So I'm gonna set this all up, and then we're gonna see, because I have some experience with this. The 2700X came out, and I got 2000 in Cinebench, which was a big deal at the time. And I had to use ice and a bunch of crazy methods and some very expensive memory, which I will be using again today, some 4233 or something like that, G-Skill. We'll set it all up and see. I mean, 2000, this thing, I mean, even the 3700 cranked 2000 in Cinebench, but this thing gets like 25 stock in Cinebench R15. So we'll do some benchmarks. It's gonna be fun. So thanks very much for watching. I'm gonna hook this the rest of the way up, make it happen. So I have brought the rad back inside for the initial testing because I wanted to see what cold temperatures just do to this thing at stock. We'll run some tests. It's pretty damn warm in here. That's why I'm kind of excited to get this going, to get some of the cold air in here. We got hot water heat in here, like radiator heat, and it's always like 24 in this damn office. I always have a window open now that the winter started. You see here, even with this 360 rad at stock, we're getting 83 on the package here on the CPU. That's really high, but we're getting about 2500 in Cinebench. Yeah, 4.5 gigahertz all by itself, 4.25 gigahertz. That's 4.525 gigahertz. That's pretty dang fast to get 2500 in Cinebench R15. I'll run 20 here. We'll just do that quickly. Let's see here. What are we gonna get? I'll go 5825. That's what I think the score it'll get. 5825. I've never run that before in my life, I promise. 5815. That's pretty damn close. It's pretty damn good. So I'll get this thing in the window now that we've got a few baselines, and we'll see how high we can get this, you know, frequency-wise. I'm thinking it's gonna go. I want to see 5 gigahertz. Yeah, right, 5 gigahertz. All right, so I was hoping to get it down to 0 Here, we want to see what kind of temperatures. 5.8 Celsius. Go! 23 Celsius. 48, really, it jumped up that quick, eh? 53 Celsius? So that's a 30-degree drop. 4.7 gigahertz all by itself. AMD. Holy Christmas. 2639. So it auto overclocked itself just based on the temperature headroom. Quite a bit there. I don't think we'll do much better than that overclocking, if I'm honest. 4.8 gigahertz maybe? With the coldness? With the sickness? Yeah, I'll let that jump down for a second now that we've warmed the loop up a bit. This is fun. Haven't done this in a long time. Got my Canadian tuxedo on today so we can do the Canadian overclocking. It's a lovely day today. 4.4 degrees Celsius here. 6,093. We're only 500 points off from a Threadripper 1950X that had 16 cores, has double the cores. That's crazy. So that's, yeah, that's quite a bit more than the 5769 we were getting before. So that's very, very, very good. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and try and overclock this bitch. I only set the memory to 3800 megahertz, I think. And we can tune Infinity Fabric and stuff like that. We can tune the memory, so I'm sure I'll do a little better than I was doing here. But like, I mean, it auto overclocks itself, which is super, super cool. It also makes doing what I do kind of suck, but it's fun. Let's make it happen. Alright, so I've been playing around with the memory a little bit and left the CPU still at stock or auto settings. And I wanted to see how far I could get with just overclocking the memory. So I had it set to 3600 megahertz initially. This is a kit of G-Skill 4266, I think, Trident Z. Bought this specifically for overclocking the 2600X back in the day and getting that magical 2000 score. It's still an extremely fast kit of memory today, and it's got nothing but easier to overclock memory on Ryzen, like ridiculously easy. So I'm at 3800 megahertz CL16 with an FCLK of 1900 megahertz, and that has got me some percentages above the 3600 megahertz like CL20 stock settings that I was running before. We see here 6157, that's an increase over my overclock score of 6093. So, I mean, we're talking like a couple percent here, but I've tuned the memory now to where it's at its fastest so we can get our CPU overclock going. Okie dokie, so we're in the BIOS now. Here we go. And this is where I'm at with my 3800 megahertz, 1900 megahertz here. That's crazy. Just the fact that it boots at this kind of configuration and never like has a memory error. Like I remember the early days of Ryzen, you try and overclock to like 2666 and it would like beep 3 times turning the computer on while it memory trained. No, this thing's like on lock. So we got 16, 16, 16, 16, 35. We could go into subtimings and stuff like that. I'm not that good at that stuff. But this is enough to net us a performance boost with the 3800 megahertz, 1900 megahertz FCLK. So now we can move on to the other stuff. So number one, we're going to want some load line calibration. And the way MSIs works, we're going to go to mode 2. Come on. Mode 2. Yeah, just keep bringing that up. Anyways. And well, let me see here. Over voltage protection, we'll set to the max. CPU overcurrent protection, do I want auto or an... Oh wait, this would be a good spot. I should have actually mentioned this at the beginning. I'm not even using like a really high-end motherboard technically. Micro Center, I'm doing an upcoming build with them where they supplied a bunch of parts, and one of them happened to be this B550 Tomahawk, which is a motherboard. The B450 version I always recommend. It's super, super nice board. Northbridge load line calibration control, we'll put that to 2. This thing was hitting 4.7 gigahertz on all cores, so I guess that's where we're gonna kind of start. So CPU ratio, we're gonna go 4.4. We'll go 4. I saw a lot of people saying 4.775. There we go. Was like an easy thing to hit. with a fairly decent cooling setup. And then CPU core voltage, override mode 1.375, CPU north bridge, south bridge voltage. This was always like half. So I think we got to go 1.42 here. Yeah, and we're gonna go 1. Yeah, do that. I think that should be good. See if that works. I have no idea. 4.775 gigahertz here, 3,800 megahertz memory. Oh, that's the fastest yet. 2673.
A few moments later.
4.88 gigahertz or 4.85 gigahertz. Just no problems. Just no problems with Cinebench 15 anyways. 2700. What's it getting up to temperature-wise? 63 degrees. That's not bad. We've got at least like 10 degrees headroom here still. Assuming the rest will let us do it. 2716. That's awesome. All right, let's see if it'll do 20. Like, I haven't even crashed once yet. This is a very different experience than doing AMD's CPUs in the past, where you were just like teetering on the edge the whole time of the upper range, and it was like any little setting could make it so that you crash and burn. Now this is AVX2 workloads, so this should be a lot harder for the system to be doing 4.8 gigahertz, 4.85 gigahertz, all cores, 64 degrees, 65 degrees, 6,300. Not bad. I'll run it one more time off screen. 6338. Keeping in mind that a stock Ryzen 3700X would get 5,000. We're at now 1,300 points more. And like, yeah, you could get to like 5,300 before if you overclocked. I mean, max overclock on Zen 2 is like 4.3 gigahertz. Maybe some of the XT ones, 4.5 gigahertz. We're going a lot further. 4.8, that is so much closer than Intel. It's awesome. This is fun.
A few inches later.
I just did 4.95 because zero fucks. It's working so well so far. We gotta find a limit somewhere. 2766. 2791 this time. All right, will it do 20? Because 20 is much harder to run. Let's see. What's the score gonna be now? Oh no, it needs more voltage. Oh, so damn close. We got room for voltage.
One eternity later.
All right, so now we're idling at 5 gigahertz at 13 degrees at 1.5 volts. So I don't think this is gonna happen. I'm gonna try one more time here. Even if I got Cinebench R15 to run once at 5 gigahertz, I'd be super happy. I've been letting it sit here, getting cold. Had some lunch. Let's see. Yeah. It's just AMD, you can never do the 5 gigahertz. Unless you're to FX CPU or some BS. Well, what are we doing here? Well, it's the conclusion time. Yeah. Please, I'm tired of trying. We hit the hard limit, and it's not so bad this time around at all. I'd love to see 5 gigahertz, but 4.95 gigahertz. We did get a Cinebench run out of that. I think it's just gotten a little warmer outside. And by warmer, I mean like it's like -5 out instead of -10 or 12. And we got 2791 at 4.95 gigahertz in Cinebench R15. That is incredible. Again, I fought to get 2,000 with the Ryzen 2700X. That's incredible. And then we got at 4.9 gigahertz, a 6405. Shut up, Windows. Shut up, snowplow. We got 6405 at 4.9 gigahertz on this 8-core, 16-threaded CPU. I'm very impressed with Zen 3. Snowplow. Yeah. So yeah, I'm very impressed with these new Zen 3 CPUs. Obviously the fastest CPUs on the market, honestly. Intel, suck a butt. You suck. I would love to attempt this with the 12 core or the upcoming 16 core. And it gets a hell of a lot colder. Gets a hell of a lot colder, and a custom loop might work better. So if I can get my hands on a 5900X or whatever, 5950X or whatever when that's happening, I will definitely reattempt this, and maybe we can get 5 gigahertz with like it being -20 outside. Maybe I could even like more hang the rad like actually outside to get it even a little bit colder. But yeah, this was fun. This was just an old return to form. For me, I used to do this stuff all the time, and I kind of got bored of it, especially with the last, couple generations of processors from Intel and AMD. Like the Zen 2 stuff, it's hard locked at like 4.3, 4.4 gigahertz. No matter what you did, I tried a bunch of stuff. This is like pretty entertaining. We could get 5 gigahertz with just some tweaks, I think, if we really tried, or maybe a little bit better of a sample, or maybe I just I see a lot of people maxing out at like 4.775 gigahertz, but that's normally with like regular cooling, so I don't know. I hope you had fun. Watch me Cinebench. That's all we did today, is Cinebench, but it's just fun sometimes to get your Canadian tuxedo on and to put your rad in the cold window and make it happen, Captain. I'm at Watch Timmy Joe, Instagram and Twitter. I hope you guys have a fun day. And I don't know, stuff and things. We'll see you guys in the next video.